In 1992, Sherrill Levitt fell asleep inside her home on East Delmer Street in Springfield, Missouri. And by morning, her purse, her car, and her dog were still there, alongside the untouched purses and cars of two other women with 400 square miles of coordinated search turning up nothing. And that is the problem. 3 women lived in that house. Sherrill Levitt was 57, a hairdresser who had spent more than 20 years building her life in Springfield. Her daughter Suzie was 19. Stacy McCall, also 19, had been Suzie's closest friend since childhood. The night of June 6, 1992 was supposed to be a good one. Suzie and Stacy had graduated from Kickapoo High School the day before. A graduation party was waiting, loud, crowded, full of classmates who knew their names. They had plans. People were expecting them. They simply did not arrive. Sometime after midnight, Suzie and Stacy decided to skip the party and go home. 2 friends drove them to East Delmer Street and watched them walk through the front door. The porch light was on. The house was lit inside. One of those friends noticed the glass globe on the porch light was shattered, broken into pieces, and thought it was odd. She said nothing. She drove home. That is the last confirmed sighting of any of the 3 women. The following afternoon, friends came to collect Suzie and Stacy. The front door was unlocked. The television was running. Cigarettes had burned down to ash in an ashtray. 3 purses sat exactly where they had been set, wallets inside, identification inside, cash inside. 3 cars were in the driveway, Sherrill's, Suzie's, and Stacy's. The dog was alone in the house, unhurt, waiting near the door. Investigators arrived and searched room by room. No signs of a struggle, no blood, no overturned furniture, nothing broken except that glass globe on the porch. The search expanded the neighborhood, adjacent streets, nearby fields, creek beds, open land on the edge of the city. More than 400 people eventually worked the surrounding area. Cadaver dogs were brought in. Air support flew search grids. Ground teams stayed active for weeks. They found nothing, not a shoe, not a torn piece of clothing, not one strand of hair or any biological trace. No blood on the porch steps, no marks on the walkway. No secondary location where anything had taken place. The search returned the one result no investigator wants to write in a report: total structured absence. Investigators built a working theory around what appeared most obvious. 3 women do not leave behind 3 purses, 3 cars, a dog, and a running television unless they stepped outside willingly, or were taken so fast there was no chance to grab anything. The leading explanation became that someone came to that door. Someone the women knew. Someone they would open the door for at midnight without a second thought. All 3 stepped outside onto the porch or toward a waiting car and disappeared before anyone along that quiet street had noticed anything at all. But here is where the theory starts to break down. Remember the broken globe on the porch light? Investigators determined it had been shattered that same night. Not a week before, not a month before. That night in the hours those women were inside the house. The glass was recent. That detail means someone was on that porch in the dark before they knocked, and they wanted the light out first. And yet not one neighbor on East Delmer Street reported hearing a vehicle. Not a raised voice. Not a dog bark. Not a door closing. Nothing. On a residential street on a warm Friday night in June after graduation, with houses closed together and windows open, not a single person saw or heard anything. That silence is the part that does not fit. A quiet, unwitnessed removal of 3 adults from a lit house in a city neighborhood in minutes, leaving no sound, does not happen without leaving some evidence of presence. The absence of noise is its own impossibility. Then there is the tip. In the months after the disappearance, investigators received information from a source who claimed to know where the bodies were buried. The location was specific enough to excavate. Law enforcement went and dug. They found nothing. The tip simply stopped. No follow-up, no explanation, no retraction. The source was never publicly identified. No one has ever explained where that information came from, why it pointed to an empty patch of ground, or whether it was a deliberate misdirection. Someone knew something, or wanted investigators to believe they did. 30 years of investigation has not answered which. The Springfield Three case remains officially open with the Springfield Police Department. Sherrill Levitt, Suzie Streeter, and Stacy McCall have never been found. No arrests, no charges, no confirmed person of interest ever named publicly. The file is active. The last meaningful development came more than 2 decades ago. Somewhere in Springfield or somewhere far from it, someone spent that Friday night on East Delmer Street and has never said so. What would it take at this point for that person to finally speak?